This year is Miraculous' 10th birthday, and over these 6 seasons, movies, games, and all the other stuff that's happened, we've gotten a lot of lore and story. Besides the anime rejection, it all starts with Season 1. The Miraculous Season 1 episode list varies depending on what platform you're watching it on, but timeline-wise, Origins always comes first. The first thing we discover is that in this world, there are these jewels called the Miraculouses, each with a different type of jewelry, animal, and power to go with it. Inside each of these jewels is a creature called a Kwami, a different Kwami with a different look and personality in each Miraculous. There are 19 Miraculouses in this thing called the Miracle Box, which is held by this mysterious man named Master Fu. However, 2 of the Miraculouses are missing, the Moth and the Peacock. We learn from Master Fu that the Moth Miraculous has suddenly been reactivated, wherever it is in the world, and that it is being planned for evil. In the Origins episode pair, we are introduced to Marinette Dupenchang, a French-Chinese 14-year-old girl, and because at this time Miraculous was mainly a kids show, her personality is being clumsy and nice. She's also very interested in fashion and art in general, which is very important for future episodes. Marinette also lives in a corner bakery run by her parents, Tom and Sabine. We then meet Adrien Agreste, and again, because it was a kids show, they didn't say it directly, but he really was just a neglected 14-year-old boy. Adrian's base personality is just being nice and good looking, honestly, since he's a model. Although he has this adventurous side to him sometimes, since he hasn't ever been allowed to do much in his life. His mom, Emily, had mysteriously disappeared/died less than a year before Origins takes place, leaving his dad, Gabriel, empty. Gabriel Agreste, a famous fashion designer, had become distant from his son and the entire world because of the disappearance/death of his wife. This left Natalie Sancourt to take care of Adrien and make sure things are okay around the mansion, because mind you, the Agrestes are very rich. There's also Adrien's chauffeur, who is a very big guy who doesn't talk much. Because Adrien's family is rich, he has been homeschooled his entire life and has never been to public school. He wants this to change though, and he decides to run away from home to school. However, he is caught doing this in the first Origins episode and is taken back home. At the school that Marinette goes to and Adrien wants to go to, we are introduced to Marinette's class for this year. Generally, everybody has 1 or 2 base personality traits, but there are some notable people. First, there's Miss Bustier, their teacher. She's extremely kind and caring and would do anything for her class for some reason. Then there's Alia, this ginger girl who wants to be a reporter, and we see this because she loves investigating everything. Alia becomes Marinette's first friend and best friend when Marinette is bullied by another classmate, Chloe. Chloe Bourgeois is also important because she is the daughter of the mayor and one of Adrien's only friends. She's rich, snobby, and loves to bully everyone else in the class with the help of her friend/slave, Sabrina. Lastly, there's Nino, who is this guy who loves music and has the surfer guy voice. He is important because he becomes Adrien's first friend once Adrien finally manages to sneak into the school in the second part of the Origins pair. We then meet the main villain of the first 5 seasons of Miraculous, Hawkmoth. Hawkmoth is the owner of the Moth Miraculous. Remember that missing Miraculous being used for evil? Well, it turns out that the power of this Miraculous is to give other people powers and to make them the user's devoted follower. As you can guess, being used for evil, Hawkmoth decides to use this Miraculous to akumatize people who are feeling negative emotions, as in send an akuma into an object the person is holding. For example, in both Origin episodes, Ivan Brule, a kid in Mrs. Bustier's class, feels negative emotions for different reasons. So Hawkmoth sends these akumas into Ivan's paper in both parts. Hawkmoth then turns Ivan into Stoneheart, a supervillain with the power of growing when struck or hurt. While this is bad because it's putting Paris in danger from many akumatized supervillains, Master Fu has a plan. By pretending to be an old, hurt man 2 different times, he finds out that Marinette and Adrien are very compassionate people who did their best to help him. When they go to their separate houses, they both discover a Miraculous in both of their rooms, anonymously sent by Master Fu. Marinette's Miraculous is the Ladybug, which has 2 main powers. Because each Miraculous also comes with a weapon, hers is a very strong yo-yo. But her main power is being able to throw up her yo-yo and receive a random object that can get her out of any situation. For example, in the second fight against Stoneheart, she gets a parachute backpack, which she later uses to jump off the Eiffel Tower to save some fallen kids. The object can be as simple as that, or it can be an intricate puzzle that Ladybug has to solve to defeat the akumatized villain. That's kinda simple, but her second power is even more confusing. You see, the Ladybug Miraculous is the most powerful against the Moth for one reason. It is the only Miraculous capable of de-akumatizing the akumatized villain and neutralizing the akuma. You see, the akumas start out as moths, and Hawkmoth turns them into akumas. So when the object the akuma is in is broken, the akuma flies out. Ladybug, though, can capture the akuma in her yo-yo and turn it back into a pure moth. If the akuma isn't turned back, it can multiply and turn people into the original villain, but that makes it super confusing, so we're not going to get into that. Point is, only Ladybug can de-akumatize the villain safely. Mind you, when these supervillains are de-akumatized, it doesn't affect Hawkmoth at all, since he is mind-talking to them from his hidden lair, so they can't reach him. Cat Noir, meanwhile, has a very simple power, destruction. While Ladybug's power is creation, Cat Noir can destroy anything he touches when he says the words cataclysm, as in anything anything he touches turns to dust. His weapon is an extendable pole, which is actually pretty useful in the show. So when Ladybug and Cat Noir finally defeat Stoneheart for the second time and learn from Stoneheart about Hawkmoth, they become a hero duo. Throughout the season, they work together to de-akumatize all the villains Hawkmoth unleashes into Paris. Season 1 is also when we see the akumatizations of all of Marinette's classmates, minus herself and Adrien. But nobody knows that they are Ladybug and Cat Noir, and they don't even know each other's identities. By the way, at the end of the Origins, Gabriel allows Adrien to go to public school, so that's why he's there. There are only two more things to talk about. First, the love square. I physically could not explain it without a diagram, so here you go. Ladybug and Marinette are the same person, and Adrien and Cat Noir are the same person. Simple, right? Well, while Ladybug/Marinette starts liking Adrien in the second Origins episode, Adrien/Cat Noir starts liking Ladybug. So Adrien/Cat Noir likes Ladybug while he's just friends with Marinette, not realizing that Marinette is Ladybug. And Marinette/Ladybug likes Adrien while she's just friendly partners with Cat Noir, not realizing that Cat Noir is Adrien. It's a terrible love square that isn't even a love square, but more like a love line, and I love it. After that mess, the last thing to talk about for Season 1 is Lila. Lila Rossi shows up in the finale episode of Season 1 of Volpina. Lila is a new student to Francois Dupont, which is the school that everyone goes to. She is famous, she is admirable, and she becomes the icon of the school in less than a day. However, she also really likes Adrien, and Marinette is not happy about this. At the beginning of this episode, Adrien stole a book that seemingly belonged to his mysterious father, which shows all of the Miraculouses. Lila steals this and decides to lie to Adrien on a homework date, saying that her ancestor was one of the holders of one of the Miraculouses, specifically the Fox Miraculous. Adrien remembers the Fox Miraculous from his book, but Lila now has the book, so he can't look at it. The important thing, though, is that while spying on the date, Marinette realizes that Lila has been lying about being famous, and she's been lying about everything she said she did. Because of this, Lila is akumatized into Volpina with the power of illusions. While she doesn't seem too important for now, she wants revenge after being de-akumatized by Ladybug and Cat Noir, and she has a plan. So that's the end of Season 1. I'm trying to go through these seasons with just the knowledge that us fans had at the time, and as someone who was in elementary school at the time, I was young, and I could not imagine in my darkest dreams what Miraculous would become. But hopefully you'll stick around for my videos on all the other seasons, and the finale timeline video, which is coming out eventually. I'd love it if you subscribed and maybe even liked, and yeah, I hope you stick around, because I'm really excited about these videos. Also, I have my analysis of El Toro de Piedra and The Ruler on the way, so you should also stick around for that. Love you all. Bye.